Legislators are putting together laws to prevent, and they're calling it the Pelosi Act, to prevent people like Nancy Pelosi from continuing to do insider trading. So it removes the incentive for people to get into power and politics so that they can run up a bag and do all of this nefarious work behind the scenes. See, this one is for Slimmy. This segment of the show is for Slimmy because Slimmy last night, and I respect Slimmy. Slimmy is my guy. I know y'all think that just because we debate on the panel that means that we are all crashing in real life. We don't. We love each other. We rock with each other, and we just have hard debates. Me and Mika debate politics all the time, and we debate. But I love Mika. I love that girl. She is dope. She's intelligent. She's awesome. She's gonna be great. But this one is for Slimmy. And the reason that it is for Slimmy is because people try to convince us that how we vote don't matter. And I think that this is the biggest problem, one of the biggest problems outside of the culture that I have with the black community, right? It's one of the biggest problems that I have with the black community. The problem is that we've been voting wrong and the politicians are a reflection of the people. The fact that Nancy Pelosi, in my opinion, has been able to be a Congress member for as long as she's been a Congress member is insane to me because it's not even a secret. It's not even people that follow. Nancy Pelosi beats everybody. She beats all of the top Wall Street traders. She's beat AI. She beat ChatGPT. She's beat everybody. Nancy Pelosi has beaten everybody when it comes to her portfolio. There are people that literally follow Nancy Pelosi's stock picks so that they can continue to run up a bag themselves. And for us to know this for decades, yet people continue to vote for Nancy Pelosi, it shows you the delusion of the people. It has nothing to do with the government itself. It has everything to do with the people that put the people in government when they see that they're not the people that should be in government. How do you run up that much money? How do you run up that much money?
Well, lawmakers in Washington, D.C. are actually working on legislation to ban stock trading for members of Congress and the president and vice president after years of discussions. As Rebecca Castor reports, the bill has bipartisan support but faces several roadblocks.
The days of lawmakers cashing in on Wall Street could be numbered as the Senate works on a new bill to ban trading for Congress.
Members of Congress get briefings. They get information presented to them. It's not technically insider information under our current laws, but let's be honest, it's information that members of the general public don't have access to.
Dubbing it the Pelosi Act, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley's bill bans members of Congress from trading or holding individual stocks. But it also goes all the way up to the White House, banning the president and vice president from trading too.
Before I ran for office in my primary, I sold all my individual stocks, sold all my operating businesses because I didn't want any conflicts of interest. And that should.
And this is why I say, and I actually agree with him on this. This is why I say that people that wind up running for office, and I've said this, people keep saying, Anton, would you ever run for office? Anton, would you ever do this? Anton, would you ever do that? And I say, you know what? Not until I'm completely satisfied with whatever my professional life is, and I decide that I truly want to be a public servant. I believe that the people that should be in office, making the laws, determining what happens, managing budgets, and so on and so forth, those people should be former business leaders that no longer is serving their own purpose as far as making sure that they continue to run up a bag when it comes to business. Because you have to be completely absolved. You have to be truly wanting to be a public servant. If you are not, if you can't, then that means that you need to get out of Dodge. Honestly, like regardless of whether or not people do well or they didn't do well or whatever, I believe that when you decide that you want to become a public servant, that when you decide that you run for office, that at that point is when you need to divest yourself from, like, you should already be accomplished. You should already be there. the salary that you get should just be, okay, well, we're going to make sure you take care of living expenses and all of that stuff. But when people have the ability to be able to take advantage of a system, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they take advantage of a system that is easily manipulated and they get all of the information? And so you just have to truly be above board. You got to be all the way above board to be able to do this type of job and to take advantage of these type of positions, in my opinion.
Exists for every single elected official, not just here in Washington, D.C., I'd say every elected official.
Reportedly, Hawley added the White House to the bill to secure Democrats' support. President Trump has previously said he would sign legislation banning stock trading for lawmakers. But with the executive branch now included, the White House says it presents constitutional concerns. Article 2 already prevents financial conflicts of interest for the president.
Nancy Pelosi, I believe, recently jumped on CNN and she was grilled, or she was asked about her insider trading. This is what she had to say.
With redistricting, because Texas Republicans earlier today unveiled their highly anticipated map of how they would redraw districts in their state to basically flip 5 Democratic House seats, make them Republican. Under this map, for example, Democratic Congressman Greg Cesar's seat is completely eliminated. Congressman Henry Cuellar, Congressman Vicente Gonzalez's districts will be made more Trump-leaning. Now, Democratic governors, as I don't need to tell you, in places such as California, are vowing to fight this tit for tat. Do you support that? Should California respond with their own redistricted map to give Democrats more seats?
Yes, but before I go into that, let me just say that what you just described was the elimination of many minority seats in Texas. And that's unfortunate because the gerrymandering that they're doing is also undermining the diversity that we need to have in the Congress. As far as California is concerned, we would go to a commission. We have a commission-based redistricting. Instead of the gerrymandering that they're doing in Texas, we've had a commission that has drawn the lines in California. We would alter that a bit in order to pick up the seats that we need. It's not necessary if Texas doesn't do this, but the Texas redistricting and what the president has talked about in other parts in the country is indicative of the poverty of ideas that the Republicans have, and they have to resort to this kind of gimmickry in order to try to hold the House. But we will hold the House, and we will participate in California if Texas decides to go forward.
Your governor, Gavin Newsom, said that the 2026 election is being rigged by the Republicans. Is that how you see it?
Absolutely, absolutely. But it's who they are. But again, so much is at stake in this election. We fully intend to take back the House. We only need about 3 seats. I want 30, of course. And they know that. That's why they have to go into this rigging process. But we will, again, we have the capacity to have more seats in California. We can win them in the election, or we can
California don't need no more
ensure
seats.
them in the change in the commission. Now, with the caveat that the commission would, in the next redistricting, go back to drawing the lines.
This afternoon, President Trump mentioned you, and he made an allegation about your investments. I want to roll that clip and then give you a chance to respond.
Yeah.
Seem to be having some sort of
investments.
let me just read what he said. I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
But I wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the stop the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time. I'm not into it. My husband is, but it isn't anything to do with anything insider. But
the fact that she even said, why do you have to ask this question? and she's dodging transparency is concerning and alarming, and everybody in California should be voting Nancy Pelosi out. I don't even know. And again, this is what shows you how broken the system is as far as who it is, and it's really a popularity contest. All right, before we even get into the insider trading conversation, politics is nothing more than a popularity contest. Politics, the reason why I hate politics is because I believe that politics is nothing more than a popularity contest. That is why I have a problem with politics. Now, I love politics, but I don't like certain aspects of it because I think that it is a popularity contest. Here in Detroit, a lot of times people keep asking me why I haven't interviewed anybody, why I haven't brought anybody on my platform, why I wouldn't, who is my pick for mayor of Detroit. And I've largely stayed out of that conversation. And the reason why I stayed out of that conversation is because it's too close to home, number one. And so being this close and being this visible as a public figure, but also, I also understand, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about the conversations that we are having with regard to getting involved in a local election and Black people and people in general educating themselves, is because the person that could possibly win for mayor of Detroit, in my opinion, is probably not the best person for the job. But guess what? They are the most popular. See? People saying shout out to people inside of the chat. They don't have any reason why they would actually think that this person is a good successor to Mike Duggan. They are not, and I'm not saying that she is or she isn't, all right? Let me be very clear. They're not saying why she is or she isn't the best person and is a good successor to Mike Duggan, who was an incredible business mind that worked well with business leaders to continue to push forward and transform the city into what it is today. We got people that are saying that we have to have a pastor, a mother effing pastor, that a mega church pastor that has multiple campuses, and they try to say that this guy, for example, and oh man, he should be, hey, we gonna get the churches together to vote for him. Why? Why? Why would we ever vote a mega church pastor who don't even live in the city of Detroit, who has a residence in the city of Detroit, who bought a residence but don't actually supposedly live in the city of Detroit? His chick, his girl, his wife or whatever don't even live in the city of Detroit. And why should spirituality play a role in politics when it comes to the city of Detroit? It angers me. It bothers me to my core. It bothers me to my core. We had another guy that said, yeah, no, Detroit, they need to get Belle Isle back. Why? Why would we get Belle Isle back? Why do we need to take it from the state? It's been ran beautifully, and it's not even profitable for the city of Detroit, just for symbolic purposes. I said, man, get the heck out of here, bro. Get the heck out of here, bro. Seriously, man. I mean, these people are genuinely going to make me at some point in the near future, probably within the next 4 to 8 years. I might have to put my hat in the ring. I might have to genuinely put my hat in the ring. I might have to put my hat in the ring. Because if over the next 4 years I see any decline in what happens in our city and we don't continue to go forward, then I'm going to have to take over. That's what my mindset is. That's what I'm feeling right now. That's what I'm feeling right now. I would have to take over, right? Because I'm sick of it. And so I would have to do something about that. But let's get back to Nancy Pelosi. My point is this, is that the fact that people feel as though that they shouldn't participate in what happens when it directly impacts what you do is crazy to me. It is 100% crazy to me. 100% crazy to me. She asked him, why would you ask me that? Because you are, what do you mean, why would I ask you that? Because you're the person that controls the purse strings of what happens in the United States of America. Don't you see how in shambles California is?
The president has his own exposure, so he's always projecting. He's always projecting. And let's not give him any more time on that, please. We're going forward here, and I'm very proud of my family. And while he might make fun of us while somebody inspired by him, breaks into our home and hits my husband in a deadly fashion, hits my husband over the head, and he thinks that's a riot. I'd rather not go into some of my other complaints about him right now, rather to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid and Medicare. What a triumph, a great pillar of economic and health security for the American people. We had over the weekend a Caring Across Generations initiative of a 60-hour vigil of all of us taking turns, myself, my daughter, my granddaughter, and all the rest taking turns over 60 hours to tell stories of how all of this, what all this means in people's lives. We, since all this has emerged,
I don't even know what she's talking about,
300,000 calls from our Californians to people in Republican-held districts for them to call, the constituents to call their Republican members of Congress who have voted for this shameful, dirty, filthy, stinking, lousy, rotten, anything but beautiful act. And now we are engaged in the Save Medicaid Summer. So today is the 60th anniversary. It's something to be very, very proud of. And instead of what the Republicans are doing to deprive people of access to health care who need it so badly, people with disabilities who need it so badly.
Listen, this is a strategy that a lot of people try to deploy. They overtalk because they don't want you to get back to whatever the original question was that you asked in the first place. And so they just keep on saying something, filthy, dirty, nasty, whatever this is, anything but big and beautiful. This is a strategy, yo.
Children.
Let me ask you,
who need it so badly.
Polling over the weekend from the Wall Street Journal showed a Democratic approval rating for the party as a whole at an all-time low, with only 33% of voters having a favorable impression of the party. Do you think the changes to Medicaid that are going to be made because of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act?
Somebody says, what if they pull up old videos of you crashing out? Then they pull it up. I want them to. So you can see how real I am. And so you can see what I'm really about and what I really stood for and listen. The old days of trying to sell people on an image that you're perfect are done. It's over. Nobody cares. They're okay with your flaws. They're okay with the things that they disagree with you about, but they want to know that you're real. They want to know that you're passionate, and they want to know that you stand on something that actually is going to help them become better people. I don't run from who I am. I don't run from my past. I don't run from the fact that I went broke. I don't run from the fact that, I'm passionate about what it is. I don't run from my liberal background of when I used to vote Democrat. I don't run from anything. I live my life like an open book. That is my superpower. My superpower is that you can't bring up something that I didn't already post. I'm the one that posted it. It's my video. I put it up there as a clip. People want to know who you really are. They don't care about whether or not you got flaws. As a matter of fact, it makes them more relatable to you because it means, I used to be that. I used to do that. You'll be surprised how many people actually resonate with you. Y'all don't understand the game now. The game is different. The game is 100% different.
Do you think that is going to help Democrats significantly in the midterms next year?
Well, I think we were always going to win. As I said, we only need 3 seats, and Hakeem Jeffries, we're very proud of him, will be the Speaker of the House. But again, certainly the vote that these people took to throw people off of Medicare, to close rural hospitals to the hundreds, and in terms of hospitals and rural clinics and the rest, and to what it does for our veterans and people with disabilities who need help.
Yeah. Somebody says, Anton, other YouTubers be doing videos about you. Well, why do you think I'm growing so fast?